All are here. Can you hear my voice?
Yeah.
Okay. Priksha. Priksha is a new student, right? So guys, this is the current affairs class, as you all know. But as I promised, I'll deliver something special within every 2 weeks. Okay. So how many of you has brought your questions? How many of you have brought your questions? Nupur, Soumya. So last few days we have been discussing your question, right? A few days we have been taking your questions, and even I have brought certain questions. Before that, I needed to discuss certain thing. One thing I needed to discuss. Uh, so please unmute yourself, okay, and don't speak. Please unmute yourself. Okay, Nupur is the first person to unmute. So I'll ask Nupur. Nupur, we are going to discuss something. Okay, let everyone
Yes, sir.
join in. Okay. Um, have you heard about Kandahar flight hijack? Somebody requested me to speak on that. Have you heard about Kandahar flight hijack?
No, sir, I don't have any idea.
Arya, who has heard about this hijack? Since it's the current affairs class and I can discuss anything around the world. Okay. What is this flight hijack? Meenu, you know, Kandahar flight hijack kya tha?
A little bit, sir.
Batao.
The Indian flight was hijacked and it was brought to the Afghanistan, landed in Afghanistan, and for 2 or 3 days they kept all the passengers as hostage. Sorry, nothing more, sir.
Nothing more. Okay. Anyone else knows about this incident? Anyone else? किसी को पता है भाई? Then I'll keep mine. Harni, you know about it?
No, sir.
Sir,
No.
was it hijacked by Taliban?
Yeah, definitely it was a hijack by Taliban. What all you know about it? Just tell me, then I'll give my opinion. I'll
I
give you
think
one more.
one person died. All I know.
So, since you have having like big information about it, okay, I'll give you the information. So, this topic was requested to me, like to discuss this topic. A black day in Indian history, a very upsetting day in Indian history. This incident of Kandahar flyjack took place just a day before Christmas on December 24, 1999. This incident took place on December 24, 1999. Okay. So Christmas के एक दिन पहले ये incident हुआ. A flight, I'll write it one by one. Okay. So wait. So incident took place on December 24th. Sabina, mute yourself. 1999. It is Kandahar flight hijacker. Nikhil, I'm coming to it. Okay. Okay. Flight IC814. This was a flight number IC814. Twin engine. It had 2 engines. Airbus 300. Okay. Airbus 300 was flying from Nepal to India. Okay. The flight was about to fly from Nepal to India. So a day before Christmas, this flight was about to fly from Nepal to India. Lot of people who have been on a Christmas vacation to Nepal were on this flight. Okay, they were like coming back to India after their vacations, okay, to celebrate Christmas with their family. The flight time was 4 o'clock in the evening, 4 p.m. in the evening. Okay, 4 बजे की flight थी. Usually, a flight from Kathmandu to a flight from Nepal to Delhi. So this flight was from Nepal to Delhi. Usually it takes 1.5 hours. In 1.5 hours, you need reach from Nepal to Delhi. So basically, what happened? So within this 1.5 hours, all sorts of drinks and all sorts of foodstuffs has to be distributed by the stewards and the flight hostess, has to be distributed to all the passengers. This much you understood? This much you understood?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Okay, so within this period, everything has to be done off. So all the stewards and the passengers were in a hurry to distribute the foodstuffs and all. So what exactly happened? Flight takeoff at 4 baje, everything was normal. Okay, the takeoff gear was put into action. Flight takeoff kar raha hai. At that moment, the flight captain was Devi Sharan. Flight captain was Devi Sharan, and first officer. See, every flight has an officer to assist him. Every captain has an officer to assist him. It's called as first officer, and first officer was Rajendra Kumar. Okay, the first officer was Rajendra Kumar, and there was a flight engineer also. In every flight, you have an engineer. ठीक है भाई, फ्लाइट में कुछ खराबी होगी तो they are the person who look into it. Flight engineer was basically Jagi. Okay, so basically the captain was Devi Sharan, the major person, and the first officer was Rajendra Kumar, and the flight engineer was Jagi. So basically, what exactly happened? There was a steward in the flight. Steward, matlab, you know what is steward? Arya, what is steward? Arya's microphone is not working. Harini, what is a steward?
So they are the flight attendants and they work in flight. They give directions regarding the escape routes and.
Okay, steward are those persons, flight attendants are like we have female air hostess, but stewards are the male flight attendants. So there was a steward in the flight. His name was Anil Sharma. So what exactly happened? Flight takeoff karta hai 4 baje. The flight took off at 4 o'clock. Due to this like short flight timing ki wajah se they had to serve the drinks and all. So what Anil Sharma, the major steward, he went into the cockpit. Cockpit is the place where the pilot and the first engineer and the flight officer, captain sits. So he asked Devi Sharan for a cup of tea, and he went inside the cockpit. Remember, guys, the cockpit of an Airbus or an aircraft can only be opened with a password. Okay, cockpit जो होता है जहाँ पे captain बैठता है, it can be only opened with a password, and this password is only known to the only chief steward. Chief steward, or not everyone knows about this. Okay, so till now you understood the scenario now. So this Anil Sharma goes inside the like cockpit, and he was serving tea and coffee to all these three. And they were joking around, and when they were coming back, this Anil Sharma was coming out of the cockpit, and he was stunned to see a person holding a gun right in front of him. The cockpit got locked. Anil Sharma came out, and the cockpit got locked, and at the same time, there was a person who put gun on the head of Anil Sharma, and the person was definitely a terrorist. Okay. The person's name was Mohammed Ibrahim. And he took out a gun and he asked Anil Sharma to open the cockpit. And opening the cockpit of a flight is a very dangerous case. Anil Sharma refused it, but since he was put under a lot of stress and he was physically manhandled too, he had to open the cockpit. Okay, so this Mohammed Ibrahim, one of the terrorists, got into the cockpit and he put the gun on the head of this all three people, and the majorly the captain Devi Sharan. Okay, so basically a flight which took place from Nepal to fly to Delhi, IC-814, a twin engine 300 Airbus carrying a lot of passengers, were hijacked in the mid-air. Okay, and this much you understood? Anyone has any doubt? Anyone has any doubt? Like, you can ask, because one of the student only asked me to discuss this issue in the class, and I don't know from where this happened in 1999. The person might have read it somewhere. Okay, anyone has any doubt? Make it clear.
Okay.
Sir,
Huh.
sir, you told that opening the cockpit is very dangerous, sir. So that is generally dangerous, or if terrorists...
No. Opening the cockpit by a foreign person or an alien person is very dangerous. Or usually everyone fly. Usually most of the people, the flight entities, get into the cockpit. But if someone foreign, a terrorist gets into the cockpit, no, they have the control over the flight. So that's why I termed it as a dangerous act. Okay. Now, with your permission, shall I move ahead? What happened? What happened? See, now the pilot Devi Sharan asked this terrorist. Firstly, the pilot understood कि ये अकेला नहीं है. There were 5 people in the flight. He was not only one terrorist. Only one terrorist got into the cockpit. So he was not alone. So the pilot, Devi Sharan, the captain of the flight, Devi Sharan understood कि भाई this situation is going to be very dangerous. This situation, and he was very much worried about the things because there were a lot of passengers in the flight. Okay, so he asked, like, the terrorist asked the captain, Mr. Devi Sharan, fly to Lahore. And Devi Sharan was very stunned to hear that how can an Indian flight enter into Pakistan airspace? How can an Indian flight enter into Pakistan airspace? And Devi Sharan completely refused. Definitely, the terrorist physically tried to abuse Devi Sharan, but Devi Sharan was so rigid, and he gave a clear-cut scene that. Do you know why Devi Sharan refused? Do you know why Devi Sharan refused to enter into Pakistan airspace?
Okay.
Sir, maybe because
Sure.
if all Indians, if they enter into Pakistan, then it might be the Pakistan government, they might do something.
No, Meenu is correct. Meenu is correct. At that time, there was Kargil war. This incident took place just after the Kargil war, and in Kargil war, Pakistan has faced one of the brutal defeats of their lives. Okay. So the Pakistan army faced one of the brutal defeats of their life in that Kargil war. If an Indian flight IC-814 landed in Lahore, so will Pakistan government do anything? Will Pakistan government do anything to save the Indian lives? No, never. They won't do. And so Devi Sharan tried to inform. There is something called as emergency corresponders. Through emergency corresponder, when this terrorist was just moving out of the cockpit, informed Indian ATC. ATC is a air trafficking control system. He informed Indian ATC at IGI in Delhi that IC-814 is hijacked mid-air. This was an information which has been conveyed to Indian ATC. The government of India, the nation of India, was planning to celebrate Christmas on December 25th, and December 25th is also the birthday of former Prime Minister of India, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So there were a huge celebration planned in Indian cabinet and India, throughout India, and this message received by the flight captain Devi Sharan was a bomb dropped to the India. Like, they were stunned and they were not knowing what has to be done. All the programs for the next day were cancelled. And So everything was turned like Indian government, and there was a complete chaos in India. Now, so now I'm taking two scenarios simultaneously. One the situation in India and one the situation in the flight. Now, the like these terrorists were putting extreme pressure. These terrorists were putting extreme pressure on the pilot to land into Lahore. Now, what happened? The pilot Devi Sharan was a very intelligent person. He told this terrorist, like, I don't have enough fuel in the plane that I can go to Lahore. So the flight cannot have a long flight to Lahore, and the fuel definitely, obviously, the fuel was. Now, why they wanted to land in Lahore? They wanted to land in Lahore because they had to refill the fuel. Okay, so the pilot Devi Sharan told that मेरे Airbus में या मेरे flight में इतना fuel ही नहीं है मैं लाहौर पहुंच सकूं. Okay, now do you know was the situation under control? Palak, do you think was the situation under control by then? Palak joined late today. Why you guys are not opening your microphone? Ritvika?
Sir,
No, sir, I don't think the terrorists are going to leave so easily. Like if you say that I don't have fuel.
See, the answer of terrorist was very stunning. Nikhil, I'll come back to it. The answer of terrorist was very stunning. What exactly the terrorist told us? Suppose a flight is flying in the mid-air. Okay, you are on a flight to Delhi. अगर दिल्ली में कोई लैंडिंग प्रॉब्लम होता है, if there is a landing problem in Delhi, the next destination the flight will be turned over as to Ahmedabad. अगर दिल्ली में कोई लैंडिंग प्रॉब्लम होता है, if there is a landing problem in Delhi, the next destination the flight will be taken to is Ahmedabad. The terrorist asked Devi Sharan a question. To Ahmedabad, if there is a landing problem in Delhi, you have the fuel in your flight to travel to Ahmedabad if there is a landing problem in Delhi, but you don't have to have the fuel to go to Lahore. The situation is Lahore is much closer comparatively to Ahmedabad. समझ में आया? The question was अगर दिल्ली में कोई लैंडिंग प्रॉब्लम है तो अब अहमदाबाद लैंड कर सकते हो, बट उससे पास पड़ता है लाहौर. Lahore is much closer and you don't have fuel to travel to Lahore. Got it? And Devi Sharan did not have any word to utter. He did not have any answer to this question. Okay. So after a lot of deliberation, in a city, in an airport which was 50 kilometers away from Lahore, and the city's name was Amritsar. Itna samajh mein aaya? The city's name was Amritsar. They decided to land in Amritsar. Devi Sharan did one thing very intelligently. He delayed the flight in mid-air. He reduced the speed of the flight in mid-air, and the flight was moving at a very slow pace. Do you know why? Anyone who can say why the speed of the flight was reduced, even in this crisis situation? Time se kya lena hai? Yes, like what exactly?
sir, maybe to confuse the terrorists. Sir.
No, terrorists were very intelligent.
Time to be given to government. Indian government.
Very correct. Nindya and Lakshmi, if he burned the fuel and the flight would have crushed. No. He wanted to give the time to the Indian government. To act. So the next part of the story goes, will the Indian government have ample amount of time to react to this situation? So there is a team, Indian Crisis Management, which functions from Delhi, and the chairman of this Indian Crisis Management is Honorable Prime Minister. So Amritsar ATC gives clearance to IC-814, and IC-814 300 twin engine Airbus lands on Amritsar Airport. Okay, the clearance was got. This flight landed in Amritsar airport. And the next thing was, now what Devi Sharan was expecting, that Indian government will do something. Indian government will do something. Okay, now what happened? There was an emergency cabinet meeting going on in Delhi, which was headed by Honorable Prime Minister of India. Defense Minister was there. But what exactly happened? The Prime Minister asked the Punjab police, not to take any action unless and until the NSG from Delhi, NSC, National Security Guard from Delhi, flies over to Punjab. प्रधानमंत्री ने, the Prime Minister of India clearly said, उन्होंने साफ साफ पंजाब गवर्नमेंट को बोल दिया, the Punjab police won't take any action until NSG, National Security Guard, will fly from Delhi to Amritsar. The Punjab government did not have any options. So the Punjab government stopped Punjab police. The flight is IC-814 was on the runway, and Devi Sharan helplessly was asking Punjab ATC for refueling. The biggest mistake committed by the Indian government in this entire scenario was this. They delayed the refueling. He waited 15 minutes, he waited 20 minutes. It usually takes 20 minutes to refuel like Airbus, like a flight. But even after the repeated request of Captain Devi Sharan, the flight was not given refueling. Okay, this flight was not given refueling, and this flight had to wait on the runway. Okay, 15 minutes हो गए भाई, 20 minutes हो गए, 30 minutes. Now the terrorists inside the flight were getting violent. Now what exactly happened? Now I'll explain a scenario which was happening in the flight. 8 passengers were taken out from the business class, and they were traveling in the business class, and they were put into economic class. There was a couple who were on a vacation to Nepal on their honeymoon. The husband's name was Rubin Katyal. And he and his wife was on a vacation to Nepal, and they were returning from the Nepal to celebrate Christmas in India after their honeymoon. And Rubin Katyal was one of the passengers who was in the economic class with his wife, and they were taken into the business class. Okay, now what exactly happened was to create a horror situation, this terrorist with a knife cut the chest of Rubin Katyal. They penetrated the knife into the chest of Rubin Katyal and one more passenger. The helpless flight captain Devi Sharan was again asking Punjab ATC for help, but Punjab ATC, due to the order of Indian Prime Minister, were not giving refueling, because Prime Minister ने क्या बोला था? Try to delay the flight unless NSG from Delhi lands there. And there was a horrifying situation inside the flight. Nothing good was happening. And even after repeated requests, the refueling did not happen. That this is something, a big plan of India, and they can be into trouble. They put the gun on the flight. They put the gun on the pilot's head and asked the pilot to take off the flight without refueling. And this much you understood? This much you understood? Is the story getting boring? Story is boring. Okay. Now, what exactly happened was, I will repeat the exact message given by the pilot, the Captain Devi Sharan, to Delhi ATC. The last message before taking off without refueling. Abhi refueling hua nahi tha. They asked him to take off again. Okay. The last message given by Captain Devi Sharan from IC-814 to the Delhi ATC was, "We are dying now. heading with us. This was the message given by Captain Devi Sharan to Delhi ATC. We are dying now, heading towards Lahore. May God save us. So with this message, it was clearly evident all the passengers can see only one thing ahead of them is only death. Now the flight starts taking off without any clearance, without knowing about airspace, without knowing about air traffic, without any fuel. IC-814 takes off into air again without any hope. Now, Captain Devi Sharan asked Lahore ATC and tried to explain him the emergency situation they are in, and they requested for help. Even after requesting multiple times, the Lahore Air Traffic Control System did not give permission to IC-814 to land because they had faced defeat in the Kargil. Indian government, Indian defense minister, Indian foreign minister tried to contact Pakistani authorities, but they were never on the call. Okay. Now, what exactly happened? The Devi Sharan had no choice. Without Lahore ATC's clearing, अब ये 4 बजे incident शुरू हुआ था, remember, it was a 4 p.m. incident. The flight was about to, now it was turning dark. Without Lahore ATC's clearance, he entered into Pakistan airspace. Devi Sharan and his flight IC-814 entered into Pakistan airspace. Now, what exactly happened was, to land at night, you need lights at airport. Okay. There are 2 types of light in the airport which guides the plane. One is navigation light, which shows you the direction ki, yeah, you have to land on this area. That is navigation light, and other is runway light. Okay, runway light. Now, somebody tell me, Saloni, Pakistan ने क्या किया होगा इस टाइम पे? Saloni, unmute yourself. भाई आप लोगों का माइक्रोफोन आज वर्क नहीं कर रहा है. मंजू अनम्यूट करना. मंजू ने आंसर दिया, सत्यम ने आंसर दिया.
Yes, sir.
मंजू क्या होगा पाकिस्तान में?
Sir, Pakistan refused to switch on the lights. Maybe they to switch off the lights so that in the dark light maybe not able to land on the airport and they would crash.
Not only Pakistan switched off the runway light, they switched off the navigation light, and they closed the Pakistan airspace completely. No issue, Saloni. Saloni is facing certain network issue. No issue. Actually, Pakistan ने navigation light close कर दिया, runway light close कर दिया, and they completely switched off the Pakistan airspace. This was what our neighbors did to us during that time. And there was a high level of discussion going in India, and India में जो Indian media and the people of India were getting violent because we were not able to take any action. We were not able to take any action when the flight landed in Amritsar. हमारे धरती, from our land we helped. We could not do. We were so vulnerable that we could not stop this flight on our land. We could have done a commando operation in Amritsar, but we failed to do that. Now the situation was, the pilot was in an extreme case of dilemma. He did not know what to do. So he asked the flight engineer Jagi, and the first officer Rajendra Kumar कि क्या कर रहे हैं? What next to be done? So Jagi in a tweaking voice gives his advice. Sir, light देखो और land करवा दो. Light देखो, wherever you see the light. So if you are seeing a glimpse of light, just make it land. Let us not wait for the orders of ATC of Pakistan. Lahore ATC का orders के लिए wait नहीं करते. If you see the light in the airport somewhere, you land. At last a ray of ray of hope comes in the way of this IC-814. Captain Devi Sharan finds certain lights all grouped up together. His face lit up with a smile. Okay. And he told, okay, let us land there. He pulls down the landing gear. From a very high altitude. IC-814 was approaching towards Earth. When it was about to land, only few kilometers were left. Then his first officer Rajendra Kumar Devi Sharan को एक मैसेज बोल देता है in a very, very anxious voice, in a very frightening voice. The message was very simple. I'll repeat the message. The message was exactly given in Hindi. I'll repeat करना. ये लाहौर का रोड है. साफ लैंड मत करना. लाहौर में रोड है. और ये जो हम लाइट देख रहे हैं ये ट्रैफिक लाइट्स है. The flight was flying at a very low altitude. With this message, Devi Sharan had no other option to pull up the landing gear again, and the flight IC-814 without any option, without any fuel, just flew up into the air. At last stage, when the pilot does not have any hope, what exactly, and आपको सामने light भी नहीं दिख रहा, then you cannot see the navigation light and runway light. What exactly the pilot does is, he turns on the cockpit light. Cockpit के अंदर light होता है जिससे बाहर का कुछ दिखता है. We can see something at least. He turned on the cockpit light. Now the Pakistan government realized that this flight IC-814 has entered into Pakistan territory. Okay, agreed. This flight is into the Pakistan territory. Now the problem is that if this flight collapses, it can be on a busy road of Pakistan. It can be on the rooftop of a house. So that situation can turn into very devastating situation, and UN will definitely get hold of Pakistan. Pakistan allows IC-814. Pakistan allows IC-814 to land into the Pakistan airspace, Pakistan airport. Okay, so finally IC-814 landed into a Pakistan airport. Okay, is this much clear? Is the story getting bored? No. And very highly interesting. Okay, finally this flight IC-814 lands on the Pakistan. Disha is saying serious situation going on. Yeah, as an IAS officer, you need to know about various situation that has happened in and around it. Finally, this flight lands into the Pakistan airport. Now, Rubin Katyal. Yeah, we were kids at that time. Okay, Devi Prakash. Okay, Rubin Katyal was a person who was in the flight. I told you that he was on a honeymoon with his wife to Nepal. He was taken out from economic class and put into this like business class. His class was changed, and he was brutally injured. Now, Indian government requested Pakistan to give certain medical aids to the passengers who are injured in the flight. Indian government ने पाकिस्तान को बोला कि भैया थोड़ा सा medical aid दे दो. This Rubin Katyal has been brutally traumatized. He has been brutally traumatized. If he does not get the first aid immediately, he will die. Do you think Pakistan would have helped? The answer from Pakistan was straightforward. We won't give any help. We won't give even a single drop of water. If we won't give a square of meal, we will only refuel your IC 814. Once you refuel your IC 814, just fly off from our territory. Okay, fly off from our territory. They refueled. The flight IC 814 again took off. Now only thing they had was fuel in the fuel tank. It again took off. The next destination was Dubai. IC 814 reaches Dubai. But actually, the destination, what this terrorist asked for, like Muhammad Ibrahim, what he asked the next destination to be, he wanted the next destination to be Kabul. Where is Kabul? Kabul is in Afghanistan. So Muhammad Ibrahim ने बोला कि पाकिस्तान के बाद हमें सीधा काबुल जाना है अफगानिस्तान. But Kabul, why were not able to go to Kabul? You know, why were not they able to go to Kabul? Now the fuel was there, everything was there. Why not Kabul? No answers. Kezia, why not Kabul? Litika, anyways, they would have been taken. This was the terrorists from Taliban only. Kezia.
So objection from the Afghanistan government?
No. Kabul did not have night landing facility. Kabul did not have night landing facility and it was extremely dark. So when this Devi Sharan asked Kabul ATC, Afghanistan ATC, air traffic controlling, so they said that they do not have night landing facility. They do not have night landing facility, so यहाँ पे land नहीं कर सकते. So this Devi Sharan took the flight to Dubai because Dubai gave the permission for landing. Understand the situation. Indian government at that time were not so powerful. Not powerful enough to control the world scenario. So we tried to contact the UAE government. And asked them, can we have a commando operation at Dubai? UAE government, that is the Dubai government, refused. Okay, United Arab Emirates refused. Now a very sad incident happened at Dubai, but a good incident happened, a pleasing incident happened. UAE government had negotiation with this UAE government, the peacemakers. They had a negotiation with this terrorist in the flight. Now the terrorists released approximately 27 passengers at Dubai. 27 passengers were released at Dubai, and certain food and water, like the food and water was given to this frightened people, so-called scared people inside the flight. इन लोगों को थोड़ा सा पानी और खाना दिया. You might be thinking the situation was now turning up to be a happy situation. But there was a sad story, a romantic story of a husband and wife who just got married. They were into the honeymoon and they were coming back from Nepal. Rubin Katyal, who was brutally traumatized and who was brutally attacked by this terrorist, and on his chest they used the knife to cut his chest. He was continuously bleeding. If Pakistan would have given the first aid, the bleeding would have stopped. His dead body was placed on the stairs of IC 814. His corpse was placed on the stairs. Those stairs from where you go get into the flight. On those stairs, his dead body was lying, completely drenched in blood. And now the government of India, now the world community understood what exactly were the people in the flight were going through was spread all around the world, and the citizens of India and the people in India were getting extremely wild. Extremely wild. So after flying for a whole night, this terrorist decided to take the flight to the next destination. Yeah, Meenu is saying husband died. Yeah, right. They decided to take the flight to the next destination. That was in Afghanistan, a Taliban area, a terrorist group controlled area. The destination was Kandahar. On 25th December 1999, on a Christmas day, IC-814, a twin bus, a twin engine 300 Airbus reaches Kandahar in Afghanistan. Once this flight lands in Kandahar airport, a group of terrorists, Taliban militants, round the flight with their AK-47 in their hands. When our passengers, our citizens look through the windows, they were not seeing the terrorists. They were just seeing the deaths in front of their eyes with no hope, nothing in their life left. But what the Taliban group was, Taliban militants were much better than the Pakistani government. These Taliban militants gave food and water to these citizens who were inside the flight. They gave the food and water, but not first aid was given. Okay, these people were sitting in the flight. The militants surrounded the flight. In India, the deliberations were going on. In India, deliberations were going on. In India, meetings were going on. Raw, IB, intelligence, all the intelligence, or raw, IB, all the intelligence. Everyone was trying at their best. Then the Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, he decided to convey an all-party meeting. All-party meeting. That means Congress would be there, other BJP would be there, Janata Dal United would be there, everyone. At that time, Kejriwal was not there, obviously he was not there. So the all-party meeting was conveyed. So Prime Minister said that this is an extreme cases of crisis. Okay, so exactly the terrorists want. So I want the help of all of you people, like all the party members, all the remaining party. Without your help, we cannot do anything. And it is not a matter of political importance, but it is definitely a matter of national importance. Okay, and we need to save the citizens in IC-814. After the meeting, it was decided that India will send peacemakers or peacekeepers or negotiators to the Taliban area, Kandahar. So few nuns from the churches, I usually have the nuns, so we are called them sisters, you know, nuns from the churches, and few fathers like the priests were negotiators. Is the story getting bored? Can I at least speak something?
Actually,
It's very, very interesting, sir.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
you told like this Taliban terrorists, they gave food and water to these passengers. So how did they do, sir? They were terrorists, no? Like how did they have that much mercy?
Nikhil, you are from which state of India?
I'm from Bangalore, sir.
There is a place in near. There was a person who was a smuggler, sandalwood smuggler. You know his name?
Yes, sir.
Arya, what was his name? The smuggler's name? Sandalwood.
Ariyappan,
Yeah,
something.
Veerappan.
Veerappan, sir. Veerappan. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, Veerappan was his name. Just a minute. Meenu has asked a question why church people were selected not from government. I'll tell you that. I will tell you that. Okay. Nikhil, answer to the question. Veerappan usually used to kidnap the politicians of Karnataka. but this person was like, he kidnapped few people. He kidnapped few people few years back. When he kidnapped, no, when he was one of the most dangerous and notorious sandalwood smuggler in Mysore. When he kidnapped, what exactly happened was one of the kid who was 6 months old. 6 months old. The kid was crying. The kid was crying. Okay. And definitely, once the kid was crying, Veerappan saw it from the other end. He asked one of his partners to bring a packet of biscuit and water and feed it to the kid. Okay. He was a notorious criminal, but even like for humanity, they also they kill people, but for humanity, they also do certain things. So it was just a gesture that they had to. Otherwise, see, if all these people if inside the flight would have died, no, all these people inside the flight would have died, then how will they negotiate? How will they negotiate with the Indian government? They might have certain things, no? Anna? Okay. Firstly, I'll ask two people have asked a question why church people were selected not from the government. See, there is an international methodology which is put into effect that whenever a negotiation is done, as peacekeepers, they send people from church or religious people to have the negotiation power. Because they can capture the government people, but they will never have an attack on a religious people. Okay, so these people are considered very divine. Even to meet Osama bin Laden, one of the most dangerous and notorious criminal in the world, even to negotiate with Osama bin Laden, there has been instance in the world history where negotiators from church has been sent. Okay, mean. Devi Prakash Shukla, why terrorists initially wanted to land in Lahore? See, air refueling was very much required. Okay, refueling बहुत ज़्यादा required था. Okay, but they did not. They wanted to land in Lahore because यहाँ पे इंडिया में कहीं लैंड करते हैं तो terrorist had at the back of mind they had a feeling that India can operate a commando operation there. India can go with a commando operation there, so they decided to land into Lahore. Okay, so they were feeling much safe because Kargil war khatam hua tha, so they were very much knowing clearly that Pakistan won't allow their land for a commando operation for India. Okay, Pakistan allow nahi karta. And where we were in the story. Okay, we reached Taliban. Okay, so IC-814 landed on Taliban. Now, Indians had sent this peacekeeping force there. So this, their fathers were there. Okay, they landed on Taliban. They landed in Taliban. Now, India very intelligently put a team of NSG commando in the flight. Very intelligently they hide, मतलब जो cargo होता है, flight में cargo होता है, where you have all these languages. Okay, जो ये peacekeepers गए थे, इनके flight में एक NSG commando का group को भेजा है. Okay, and they were definitely looking for a COVID operation there. But what exactly happened when they landed in the Lahore airport? When they Kandahar airport, what exactly happened? Flight आके कांडाहार में रुकता है, ठीक है? This flight was completely surrounded by Taliban militants. इस flight को पूरी तरीके से Taliban militants surround कर लेती है. Only get out of this. The commanders got stuck inside the flight. Commandos got stuck inside the flight. They could not even come out. Operation to दूर की बात है. They could not even come out. Only the peacekeepers could come out of the flight. Negotiation with Taliban militants went on. It took 14 to 17 hours of negotiation, but nothing fruitful was done. After 14 hours of negotiation, this priest come out and says that The negotiation is successful. The negotiation is successful. There was a smile in the face, a smile on the face of all the passengers who were in the flight. But after a few hours, the minds of terrorists got changed. They said, no, we are not agreeing to your terms and conditions. Again, the negotiators went in. These negotiators were contacting with the Rothschild. These negotiators were directly contacting the cabinet ministers. The prime minister was put into action. All these negotiators, the government of India, all were contacting each other. Now, the terrorist reveals their need. We will clear off all the passengers. We will send all the passengers of IC814 twin engine Airbus 300. But what we want Masood Azhar, one of the most deadly terrorists. This terrorist was captured from Pakistan area in late 90s. This terrorist was captured. So what is this terrorist like? Now the agenda of this hijack was they wanted Masood Azhar. And one of the terrorists who was in the flight, Muhammad Ibrahim, he was brother of this Masood Azhar. Very less people know about this. This Muhammad Ibrahim was brother of Masood Azhar. And they not only asked for Masood Azhar, they wanted huge sum of US dollars. Okay, 200 million, 2,000 million US dollars they want. They asked. Indian government kept on negotiating. At last, Indian government did not have a way out. The only way out was to release Masood Azhar. From Delhi, Masood Azhar was taken to Kandahar. The flight with Masood Azhar lands in Kandahar. In the Afghanistan soil. Taliban militant groups, Talibani terrorists surrounds the flight in which Masood Azhar was there. Masood Azhar comes out. He gives a warm hug to his brother, the deadly terrorist Muhammad Ibrahim. And this terrorist in their jeeps vanishes away. Indian commandos, Indian military groups were so vulnerable in this situation. They were left stranded off in front of this twin engine Airbus IC814 with a capacity of passengers around 300 to 400 people. Okay, they could not do anything. This was definitely a failure. The failure happened because Indian government could not conduct a commando operation in on our land that they could have done a commando operation in Amritsar. Point number 2. We talk about our neighbor countries and relationship between Pakistan. Pakistan always wants India to play cricket matches with Pakistan. When we were in crisis, they were taking the step board of this Kargil that you had a war with us in the Kargil. That we are not going to help your citizens. I remember a situation few years back then. After Kargil incident, there was an earthquake in Pakistan. From Gujarat, we sent up. Wait. Divya Prakash, I'll explain it to you. When Pakistan government was in need, we sent a container full of blankets from Gujarat to Pakistan. A container full of blankets and food substance from Gujarat to Pakistan. At the time I was very young. I asked my father, Pakistan is our enemy. I asked my father, Pakistan sending this blankets and foodstuffs to Pakistan. His answer was simple. The language of humanity is all around the world, all same around the world. There is no enmity. दुनिया में इंसान सब जगह होते हैं. उनके शरीर में भी the color of blood is red, and even on our body the color of blood is red. But when I analyze the entire scenario of the world politics, I understand Pakistan was very stringent or very adamant in that scenario. Divya Prakash has asked the question, why could not UN interfere into Afghanistan? Actually, in Afghanistan at that time, Taliban, a terrorist group, was playing a major role. Disha, wait. Taliban was playing a major role, and this was terrorist group, and even Taliban was against the Afghanistan. So UN में तो Afghanistan government का role हो सकता है ना भाई. Taliban was a terrorist group, उनका क्या role हो सकता है? So UN could not help us there. This was a situation that took place in the month of December in 1999. It took me like almost 1 hour to explain the entire scenario, which took off your current affairs class. But I wanted you to know this concept. I wanted you to know the scenario which happened in Indian history. I'll try to relate how powerful our nation has grown, how powerful our nation, our system has grown. We have our international relationship. As political science students and as aspirants of UPSC, compare this situation with a small situation that happened in last year when Wing Commander Abhinandan was captured into Pakistan. He was made captive into Pakistan because his MiG-21 collapsed in Pakistan. He was taken into Pakistan custody. Within 48 hours, the Wing Commander from Pakistan custody to India, as per Geneva Convention. I remember one thing very clearly. None of our minister, हमारे किसी भी minister ने या किसी भी diplomat ने पाकिस्तान के सामने भीख नहीं मांगा. I mean to say it very clearly. We didn't like beg in front of the Pakistan government. What we said in the media, it was very loud and clear. As per Geneva Convention, if you don't release our pilot within 48 hours, you will face the consequences. India has changed immensely in past 2 decades. We do not have the begging ball image. We are not standing with a ball in front of foreign countries, asking for their mercy. We are a superpower nation. And that is definitely because of our international relationship. Okay. And this scenario, like to take a pilot back from Pakistan custody within 48 hours is definitely a diplomatic win over our nation. Of that pilot, even in the Pakistan custody, even when he was in the Pakistan custody, when the captain of Pakistani army asked him from where he is, he proudly said, I am not supposed to tell you that, but I am somewhere from the down south. When he was asked about the carcage of his MiG-21, he refused to tell that. He said, Major, I am sorry, I'm not supposed to tell you that. This shows the courage and this shows the power of Indian Army, and this shows how diplomatically we have gone through a transformation from 1999 and 2000 in late 2000s. So these two incidents, if we mingle up, what I wanted to say is, not only through wars we have achieved a lot of things, through our international relationship with United States of America, through our international relationship with Israel, we have achieved many things. Okay, that was all for today's class. Somebody requested me to discuss this topic. I hope I did justice to the topic. India has asked the question, sir, how did the terrorists manage to enter into the aircraft? See, every terrorist spies. So India, I'll ask you a repeat question, like how did Ajmal Kasab enter into Mumbai? So this is called a spying. Okay, and they infiltrate. Actually, it's not spying, it is infiltrate. Ghuspack. Okay, so and not only in India, they entered into the aircraft, and when they landed on the park, like when they landed in Kabul, no, they took a full bag of AK-47 from that like जहाँ पे cargo होता है ना, वहां से they took a full bag of AK-47. So this was a story. Okay, I needed a change. Like I wanted you to undergo a change because every week it was current. Okay, so I wanted change. Satyam, thank you so much, yeah. Mohammed Park is connected. It is called as connected. Masood is from Jaish Mohammed. It is not Jaish Mohammed. Yeah, Park based terrorist. It is connected to Taliban. Yeah, very correct. Masood Azhar is from like he's from Jaish Mohammed only, and he's connected to Taliban. And this Masood Azhar was very much instrumental. This Masood Azhar was very much instrumental in that incident which took place in Mumbai. Okay, he was mastermind in Mumbai attack also. So, see, I had questions also. But once I came here, once I was sitting on the chair, I changed my mind. I thought that every week current affairs is not good. We will have a change. So I hope you enjoy the affairs. Okay. If anyone, so I'll give you an opportunity, guys. Okay, I'll give you an opportunity, guys. Okay. So if anyone wants to discuss their stories or their current affairs, they can definitely record it. Use your mobile phone, record the instant. I promise, if the story is good, if the current affairs, the content is good, I'll definitely give you an opportunity to publish it through Plutus IAS. 5,300 students studying this year, and the students are increasing. Okay. We will share the story with all the batches. Okay, we'll share the story with all the batches, and we definitely will give you an opportunity. Okay, it can be a story, it can be a current affair, it can be anything, but the content should be relevant. I'll check the content, my team will check the content. Okay, and if it is good, we will definitely share your story. Okay, so this was a storytelling. Okay, and see, I have added two things. Current affairs, question answer discussion, current affairs, which I asked, question answer discussion, taking up your questions. Now the third thing was a storytelling to make the things interesting. If you like the storytelling pattern, now mail it to the administration department. So now the pattern, Neeraja movie is based on this incident, but there was a lot of manipulation in this movie. So if you like the storytelling pattern, please mail it to Zoya. Okay, and the mail will come with, no, that is on like Neeraja movie is a mixture of Kandahar and 1986 incident. Satyam is right. It was a mixture, but बहुत सारा झूठ बोला गया उसमें. Okay, बहुत ज़्यादा झूठ बोला गया. So I can't completely say that it was a true story. And if you like the class, please mail it so we can continue with this process ahead. So your feedback is very much essential.
Sir, what now story which you told, that is Kandahar incident, sir?
Kandahar incident.
Okay.
See, I read lot of see what all I read. I'll explain you. I read lot of cases. Okay, the next part what I am going to do is I'll take up a case of Indian, one of the famous judgments, like एक judgment जो Supreme Court ने दिया, जो कि भारत के history को बदल दिया है, which transformed the Indian history completely, a judgment delivered by Supreme Court. So we will do your questions as हर class में जैसे हम करते हैं, my questions plus one interesting story and one case. So if you like this story, please mail it to Zoya so I get a proper feedback. Zoya will definitely give a feedback. Then we will proceed with this. Yeah, but you have to mail it. Then only I can. Like if I have 30 to 40 mails, then I'll continue. Otherwise, having 5 or 6 students' interest, I won't do that. Because all opinion of everyone is important, no? Opinion of everyone. So 30 to 40 mails in one batch, I'll definitely do it. Okay? I'll definitely do it. Because I also need feedback. Okay, thank you guys. Have a nice day.
Sir, question, sir. Yes, I have a question. Sir, no movie can show the real incidents. Is this something? Is there any law in the?
Respect the intelligence, like we should respect the military intelligence. Okay, अगर वो movie में दिखा देंगे अगर मूवी में दिखा देंगे and so the military intelligence can be hampered. There was a movie on MS Dhoni. Okay, in that MS Dhoni's the first girlfriend of MS Dhoni got died in a car accident. This question was asked to MS Dhoni, sir, everything shown on Mahi, everything shown on this movie, everything shown on this movie is true or not? So Mahi said that, like MSD said that, like, I had a girlfriend who died in the car accident, but do you think I will be dancing with her on the streets of Delhi and having food around the roaming around in the food streets of Delhi? So every movie, everyone adds that mirch masala in that. Okay, like spice it up, but everything is not true. And apart from the military intelligence, this things is not like in respect of the military intelligence, everything true is not shown. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Have a nice day. I hope you deliver the mail to Zoya. Okay, and from there I'll get a proper report. Then I'll continue with this pattern also. Thank you so much, and please mention this incident there. Kandar incident was discussed. So because in other batches I will be discussing some other incidents. So from this batch I need a proper response. What was the incident which has been discussed? Okay. Okay, so other batches, so मेरे को पता चले which incident had the maximum number of feedback. Okay, in that batch